All right. Good morning. So, today we are going to learn about how to retell stories, including key details, and demonstrate our understanding of the central idea. And we're going to be doing that today by using our story maps and a narrative writing piece that we're going to work on together in groups, partners, pairs, or if you would like to work alone, then you're more than welcome to work alone. But the whole goal here is to have a shared understanding of what happened in the story from the beginning to the middle and the end. Sometimes we might read things out of order and they kind of get all mixed up in our heads. So it is very important that we not only read stories from the beginning, middle to the end, but when we're retelling stories, that we tell them in the same order or sequence. Sequence is first, next, last, so that the people that we're telling the story to, or ourselves, if we're just retelling the story to ourselves, we want to make sure that it makes sense and it goes in order, right? Something to also think about is what if we told stories or read stories all out of order? I think what would happen there is that we would be really confused, the reader, or whoever was telling the story might even get lost in their story. So it's very important to have a sequence again: first, next, last, beginning, middle, end, so that the story not only makes sense to us but to others as well, right? Important things to remember when listening to the story are details. Details are events or things that happen in the story that are very significant or that they're very important to what happens in the end, and helps us understand the story a lot better. So, for example, an important detail could be perhaps we're talking about a story at night. And that detail matters because if we were reading a story and the story is taking place at night, then it would make sense to. That's fine, we'll take that up. Details. Now, details are important because they tell us really important facts about what we're reading. What, Details are key pieces of information that we use that are important to the story. And so we want to listen carefully for important events or things that happen in the story that are going to help us retell the story in the end, from the beginning, the middle, and the end. So you might want to remember something that happens, something that somebody says, or maybe an important character that comes into the story at a certain time. Those are important details to remember, and you want to keep those in your mind so that they can be fresh for when you're retelling the story. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and read out loud with you the story of the Three Little Pigs. And I'm sure some of us have heard it. And if you have, then it's okay. It's okay to read books more than one time. We always want to be practical learners, right? Just because we read it one time doesn't mean we know everything about it. And it's very important to revisit stories, reread stories, retell stories so that they can stick in our brains and we can remember them for a very long time, right? Now, when you guys go to your groups and I have you work in partners and pairs, if you cannot read all the way or if you struggle with some of the words, that's perfectly fine. That's why we have pictures. That's why we have partners. So I'll be sure to match you up with somebody who can not only help you out, but you can help them out as well in your own ways. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and read the story of the Three Little Pigs. Now, this story is written by George Bridge, and it is called The Three Little Pigs. This is the classic tale of three little pigs and a big bad wolf. It's sure to captivate all of your ears, so let's hear about it. Alrighty. Well, the story starts off by hard work pays off. Just ask the three little pigs. Now, in the picture, you can see the three little pigs standing right next to their houses. And can somebody tell me what their houses are made out of? Perfect. Yes. Thank you very much. The houses are made out of straw. One house is made out of sticks. One house is made out of bricks, right? So those are important pieces of information to remember about the pigs. So we're going to continue on reading. We can always find details in pictures even if we can't read, boys and girls. All right. The three little pigs built three different little houses. The oldest pig built his house out of straw. The middle brother said, "Hey, big brother, I know that might be fast, but you may want to be careful because it's not built to last." A little bit of rhyming words in there, huh, guys? The big brother just laughed. Ha, ha, ha. So, oldest brother made his house out of straw. Things to remember, right? Can somebody tell me what middle brother said about building your house out of straw? Yes, go ahead. Thank you for raising your hand. Yes, middle brother did say that building it might be fast, but it's not going to last. You're right. Excellent job. Wonderful. Thank you for remembering that important key detail. Let's move on. The youngest pig built his house out of sticks. The middle brother said, "Hey, little brother, I know that might be fast, but you may want to be careful because it's not built to last." Little brother just laughed. Another good page. What do we think is happening here on this page, somebody? Yeah, go ahead. You can answer. Thank you. Yeah, again, you're right. Middle brother is telling little brother, youngest pig, that, yeah, it might be fast to make it out of wood, sticks, but it's not built to last. Can somebody tell me what that might mean? It's not built to last. Can somebody help us out? What do you think middle brother, middle pig means by it's not built to last? Yeah, go ahead. Thank you. Yeah, that's possible, right? It could be that he means the building or the home that he built, the house, could fall down. What sort of things can make their houses fall down if they were to fall? Okay, rain is a good idea. Rain could knock their houses down if there becomes a flood. It could sweep away their houses, right? Or rain could probably come through their houses. Good job, excellent. Okay, snow. Wow, okay, snow. Snow can make it really cold. And again, one is made out of straw, one is made out of wood. Maybe not the best idea for a warm house, right? In the wintertime. Yeah, go ahead. Thank you. Wind, right? Something like a tornado or just a heavy, strong gust could probably knock those houses down. So that's good. This is good information, right? One house is built out of straw, one house is built out of sticks. And so far, we know that middle brother says that they won't last. Let's see how this plays out. When the middle brother built his house, he built it out of bricks. What did he build it out of, guys? Ladies and gentlemen? Yes, he built it out of bricks. His two brothers said, "Hey there, brother. I know that's built to last, but we sure are getting bored. Why can't you build it fast?" And the two brothers laughed and laughed and laughed. Now, let's think of an important key detail from this page. What could be a key detail we want to remember from this page? Right, correct. Middle brother builds his house out of bricks. How long does it take middle brother? What would you guys say? Longer than older and younger pig? Shorter time than older and younger pig? If they're saying they're getting bored, we might think it takes a long time, right? So I think it took longer than it took younger and older brother. Wow. Let's see how this goes. Later, a wolf came along and blew on their houses. He huffed and he puffed and he blew the straw house down. He huffed and he puffed and he blew the stick house down. Wow, if we take a look at this picture here, we see Older brother staring at his pile of straw, and younger brother staring at his pile of sticks. So it doesn't seem like their houses made it through the huffing and puffing of the wolf, right? Excellent job. Good details. Good detail. The wolf blew down the stick house. The wolf blew down the straw house. Next page. And he huffed and he puffed, but the brick house would not come down. And the middle brother just laughed. As we can see in the picture, Wolf is blowing as hard as he can and nothing is moving. Why do we think that Mr. Wolf can't blow the house down? Why is it so hard for Mr. Wolf to blow the house down? This could be a good detail that we think about on our own, and it's not in the story. Or we're looking at the picture and we're making choices or decisions on why the bricks won't fall down. The brick house won't fall down. Yes, thank you for raising your hand. That is an excellent explanation. You're right. That's good. The bricks could be really heavy, and things that are really heavy are hard to move. Right. That's probably why it took Middle Pig so long to build his house. When things are heavy, you can't really move very fast when you're carrying them. Excellent job. Good job. Thank you. With two of their houses gone, the brothers decided to move in together in the brick house. They all said, I guess hard work pays off. And they laughed and laughed and laughed. Wow, what a great story, right? In the end, the pigs, they all moved in together into Middle Brother's house because the house was built to last. And I think here, what I like to do at the end of a story, I like to think about why maybe the author told the story, right? The person who wrote the book, or what could be the lesson that we learn from the story. But let's first start off by thinking about the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. Can I have somebody go ahead and tell me something that happened in the beginning of the story? Yes, thank you. In the beginning of the story, the three pigs were building their houses. Yes, excellent job. And not somebody else? Yes, thank you. In the beginning of the story, the three pigs were all using different materials to build their house, right? In the beginning, we had a pig build their house out of straw. One another, the younger brother built his house out of wood, and the last brother built his house out of bricks. Awesome. Something else that might be important from the beginning is that middle brother told older and younger brother that building their houses out of straw and bricks would be fast again, but it was not built to last, right? Now, somewhere in the middle, we find that Middle Pig makes his house out of brick. He makes his house out of brick. Thank you for catching that. Brick. And it takes quite a while. And his older brother and his younger brother are laughing at him. And they say, well, that they do agree that it sure is going to last. Now, at the end, if I can remember correctly, we just want to go over the story again in our head and include as many key details. So the wolf came by and he blew down the older and the younger brothers' homes that were made out of straw and wood sticks. They weren't meant to last, right? And finally, the wolf could not blow down middle brother's house. It was just way too strong for him. And I think in the end of the story, all the pigs learned, right, that hard work pays off. If you do something right the first time, then you won't have to do it again, or it won't break on you, I guess, is another good point to this story. So awesome. So that is what I would like you guys to do. Since I already read The Three Little Pigs, I would like you to go to your groups, and when I allow you guys to go into your partners, I would like you to read a similar story the three little pigs, but you're going to read the three little armadillos, just so that you have practice retelling a story. Now, I'm going to show you what I expect to see when you guys are working in your groups. So let's go ahead and take a look at filling out our story map. Now, boys and girls, alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look at how to fill out our story map. Okay, remember our objective here is to retell the stories, including key details, important facts from the story, and demonstrate understanding of the central idea. What that part means is after you read a story, you want to make an inference about what you think the story means. So let's go ahead and get started. When we read our story, we want to think about why we read from beginning, middle to end, right? And so that we can have an idea of what happened first, what happened next, what happened last in the story, okay? If we didn't read stories like that, they'd be really confusing, and it would take a long time to kind of read the story and understand it. Now, from my story, I'd like somebody to go ahead and raise their hand and tell me who are some of the characters in my story, please? Thank you very much, right? You and your partner can work together. Somebody can write, somebody can ask the questions, right? And you go back and forth and trade off. One of my characters my characters are, thank you very much, the three little pigs. Thank you. Those are some of my characters. There was another character in our story. Who can tell me who the other character was? Yes, you're right. It was the wolf. Now, do we have all the characters from the story? I think we do. So, before we move down here, let's go ahead and talk about our setting. Setting. Now, the setting, what is the setting again, boys and girls? Somebody want to share the answer? Thank you very much. Yes, the setting is where the story takes place. Now, where does our story take place? I think we have several different places in our story, but if somebody could give me one good idea about where the setting of the story is, let's see what you guys can come up with. Right? Thank you very much. The setting, yes, you're correct. The setting was the three pigs' houses. So, how do we want to say that? Okay, that's a good idea. We could say that. We could say that the setting is all three pig houses. That could be the setting, because if we just said it happened at one house, that wouldn't be true. All of the houses were in the story, right? So we're going to say the three pigs' houses. Awesome job. Excellent. The three pigs' houses, right? House with another S on it. Houses. Plural. More than one. Okay? Houses. In the beginning. Yes, correct. Beginning. In the beginning of our story, who would like to give me one good detail from the beginning of the story? Okay, you can go ahead. All right. That's a great idea, but the wolf blowing down the houses didn't happen at the beginning. When did that happen, somebody? You're right, that happened toward the end. You want to give it another try? All right, go ahead. Yes, correct. Excellent job. In the beginning of the story, yes, in the beginning of the story, middle brother told younger and older brother their houses were not built to last, right? So we kind of want to say that on our own. So we can say that middle brother warned older and younger brother. That's a good way to say it, right? He warned them. What's another good way to say it, guys? Or what's another key detail from the beginning of the story? Right, excellent. That they made their houses fast, right? And that they weren't built to last. All right, so that's a key detail from the beginning. We'll go ahead and write that down. I like that one. We'll use that one. Build the house fast. It will not last. Excellent job. Very good job, right? We can do our beginning, middle, and end in pictures if we feel more comfortable with writing out pictures, right? But I like to write out the words because it helps me with my narrative writing when we get over to that station, right? So drawing pictures is perfectly fine. Remember that, okay? In the middle, who can give me a detail from the middle? All right, let's go ahead, give it a shot. Yes, in the middle. Thank you very much. In the middle pig made his house from brick. Awesome job. Middle pig made his house from bricks. Awesome. Excellent job. Middle pig made his house from bricks. Excellent. Now, in the end, you can tell me what happened in the end, ladies and gentlemen? Somebody. Thank you very much. You're right. Excellent. Wolf blew down the houses. Now, whose houses did he blow down? He blew down all the houses? No, he only blew down 2 houses. So, which 2 houses did he blow down? The stick house and the wood house. Oh, the stick house and the straw house. I'm sorry. The stick house and the straw house. Now, what should we write then in the end? Because there's more details from the end as well. Let's have another one. Yes, correct. All of the brothers lived in the brick house. Awesome job. What could be another detail? The pigs learned to work hard, right? Working hard pays off, right? So I think I want to put 2 of those together. The stick house and the straw house blowing down, and also working hard paying off. Maybe not paying off, but let's put that how can we say that? The brick house was built to last. I like that, right? So we're going to go ahead and put that in. We're going to say the straw house, the straw and stick house blew down. What about the brick house, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, the brick house was built to last. The brick house was built to last. Excellent. So, is our story map all filled out? A good way to do this is to refocus our attention to each detail that we put in here. Now, we could get these details from the book, boys and girls, but we want to put them in our own words. So if we go over it again, right, it would be just like me retelling the story. So if I go through it, I'm going to retell you the story. The characters. The characters are the 3 little pigs and the wolf. My setting is the 3 pigs' houses, right? That's where all the action happened. That's where the story took place. Now, in the beginning, what happened in the beginning? Well, in the beginning, build the house fast, it will not last. That sentence reminds me that in the beginning, the 2 brothers were making their houses out of sticks and straw. and they were building them really quickly. And middle brother was telling them that they wouldn't last. In the middle pig made his house from bricks. Well, in the middle of the story, middle pig was taking a really long time to put his house together because bricks are heavy, and his brothers agreed that house was going to last. In the end, right, the straw and stick house blew down. Right, in the end, that's what happened at the end of the story. Their houses fell to the ground by the big bad wolf and his really strong air. And the house blew down because of the wolf blowing it down, right? Blowing really hard. Also, in the end, right? In the end, the brick house was built to last. That was the last house that stayed standing, and what ended up happening? Everybody ended up moving in with the middle brother to the brick house, right? So that is how we fill out our story map, okay, boys and girls? So when you're working with your partners, remember, it would be a good idea to share in the work. If you'd like to fill out your own story map, that would be excellent. But at the end of today's group work, you need to have one article to prove to me that you are ready to demonstrate your ability to retell the story, right? Let's go on to our narrative writing now. All right, boys and girls. So we could also retell a story using narrative writing. And narrative writing is us just retelling the story in our own words, right? We read it, we have the story in front of us, and we can just jot down some pieces of key details that we remember from the story to help us retell our story. I have here a framework for you, okay? And I'm going to write mine out, and I want you to kind of follow it. If I have something underlined in here, then that's kind of going to be something that you use on your own. And I will even give you sentence strips so that you have them in your groups so that you can help yourself write on your own piece of paper, right? But let's go ahead and take a look up here. Our topic sentence, our TS, remember, TS is what we are writing about. We always want to tell our audience what we're going to write about. And it's to be really simple, right? We don't want to make things harder than they need to be. So we just want to say, well, what are we going to write about? Well, what did we just do, boys and girls? Well, the book I just read was The Three Little Pigs. Now, what do you think I'm going to talk about if I say this on my first sentence? The book I just read was The Three Little Pigs. What do you think I'm going to talk about? Somebody? Yes, thank you. I'm going to tell you about the book I just read, which was The Three Little Pigs. Right. So first, one thing we can do is we can definitely use our story map to help us, right? But if we don't want to use our story map, then we can just recall information, remember from what we know about the story. And we want to use words like first, then, and last. Because first tells us, well, the beginning of the story. Then could be the middle, and last would be the end of the story. Okay? So, the book I just read was The Three Little Pigs. Somebody raise their hand and give me one good detail from the beginning of the story. Yes, thank you. First, younger pig and older pig made their houses fast. Excellent, I like that one. First, younger and older pig made houses fast. Real nice and easy, right? First, younger and older pig made houses fast. That is something that happened in the beginning of the story. Excellent job. Can we have somebody tell us what happens next? What would be something from the middle of the story? Awesome. Thank you very much. And I want to use the word then, right? This is that word we were talking about earlier, sequencing. Sequencing meaning beginning, middle, end, first, then last, from the start to the finish, right? So we want to sequence our writing so that it makes sense in the order we're telling it to the reader, okay? Then, can somebody tell me what happened in the middle of the story? Yes, thank you very much. That did happen, you're right. Then, Middle Pig made his house of bricks. Wonderful job. Then, Middle Pig made a house of bricks. Wonderful job. Wonderful job. What would we need now? We've talked about something from the beginning. We've talked about something from the middle. What part are we missing? You're right, we're missing the end. Excellent job. And the word I'd like you to use when you're using your narrative writing, when you're sequencing your writing, first, then last, right? Because that's the end of the story, last. First, then last. Can somebody volunteer and tell me what happened last at the end of the story? Yes, at the end of the story, only the brick house was left. It was built to last. But what happened? Why was the brick house the only one left? Oh, okay. All right. An important detail is that the wolf blew the straw and wood house down. You are right. You are right. So if I even wanted to, I could add another one before I say last. That's a great idea. So I'm going to go ahead and say first, then I could throw next in here if I would like. First, then next, and then we can follow that up with a last. Okay. So next, what had happened? What happened? Someone please tell me again. Yes, you're right. Next, the wolf blew down the straw and brick house. Straw and wood house. Sorry. Wood sticks. I like the word sticks. Sticks sounds a little flimsier, right? Stick house. Right? Next, the wolf blew down the straw and stick house. Thank you very much. Awesome. For your suggestion. Now we can use our last that we had come up with. What happened last, boys and girls? Well, last, right? Sequencing our events in the story. First, then next. Last, you are correct. The middle pig's house was left. The house of bricks was made to last. Last, the house of bricks was made to last, right? Excellent. Now, if we have a topic sentence, we always need a concluding sentence, right? A concluding sentence closes our story. We told the story from the beginning to the end. Now it's time for us to end our writing with what we think or how we feel about the story, right? So this is your opportunity to tell the reader what you felt about the story, what you think the story was about, or what you learned from the story, right? So can somebody tell me what they learned from the story? And I think I want to use the sentence frame, I learned. So if somebody can start their sentence with, I learned, I would really appreciate it. All right, go ahead. Thank you very much. I learned that hard work pays off, right? The pigs said it in the end. They were happy that they had the brick house still. It took a long time to build, but it was worth it in the end. You're right. So, last, we can say, I learned. What did you learn? I learned that hard work pays off. Right? Pays off. That means it's worth it in the end, right? Excellent job. Now, our last activity is going to be retelling the story just orally with our partners, right? Going over it and talking about it. And a good way to do that is to have our partner read a book to us. So let's say we have our partner read one page, and then he asks his partner or her partner to retell that page. And if we do it page by page, then hopefully at the end we can remember all the details and retell the story together, right? So we're going to split up into our three groups. You will be doing one of these three things. You will be doing a narrative writing piece in one group with a partner or by yourself. You can, in the next group, you will do a story map with a partner or by yourself. And in your last group, you're going to be retelling the story together. Now, I'm going to have my group with me going over how to go about retelling the story. For whoever I call over, please just come over when you hear the bell. And for the rest of us, we all know that when we hear the timer go off, rotations end, and it's time for us to clean up, pack up, put our stuff in our folders, and move on to our next station. You all know that once the timer goes off, you have 1 minute to clean up, 1 minute to transition. Now, that's a lot of time. Normally, it's only 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm giving you the 2 minutes just to get your stuff together and get yourself situated in your next group. Okay? Once we're all wrapped up, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at your work, or if you would like to volunteer to go ahead and retell me a story during the end of the period in our reflection time, that would be a great time for that. So, thank you very much, boys and girls. Are we ready? Does anybody have any questions for me? All right, let's get started.